If you want to learn a lot about building a deck the right way, the right vendors, the right process, stick around for this one, everybody. Welcome back to the Your Little Castle show. Again, it's my pleasure to bring in those experts who've been working in our space and in our area for a long time. Alan has been doing this for 35 years. And so when it comes down to you don't want to make a mistake when you're building a deck, because you could end up getting in some trouble with the local code enforcers, right?
That's correct, yeah.
You get your inspectors, they'll come around.
They'll drive around, look for you. If they see a pile of wood in that driveway, they're going to be like, what are you doing there, So they take around, if you haven't, you got to be licensed in a lot of these municipalities now. So we have to be licensed, insured, licensed. We have to provide all of our documentation in order to properly build a deck, and we're licensed at every municipality that you can name in this region.
That's important too, because then you're playing nice with those guys, and they know who you are. If you got something you got to figure out.
It quits the guys out of the back of the truck. Somebody coming in town trying to take advantage of people. When you're licensed like we are, when you're certified like we are, it's again, you're putting your money and your investment into somebody, an A+ on a Better Business Bureau. That all stuff adds up when it comes about. When you're making a decision to buy a deck, you want to look into the company's history. You want to also look into how they are out there. Are they actually known? Are they actually a viable company?
Very important, yeah, because, again, building something, a structure that's 8 or 10, 12 feet off the ground.
Yeah, we average about 9 feet nowadays. Everything's 9-foot pours, and so, there's not a lot of decks on the ground anymore. It seems like we spend most of our time on ladders, it seems like. Yeah.
Well, and that's what you want to take the time to get these done right, because you can end up I'll never forget when I was building my deck, we had some guys come in and they come over and they saw me and they go, "What's going on over here? Let me see your permits," and all that stuff. And we went through the process. But that's good, because that keeps the standards high.
Obviously the government always wants your money, but hey, it's but it is making sure that that we don't have decks falling down, because last thing you need is 20 people on a deck and fall, because it's happened several times in our region. So it's important, because it is a safety issue.
Don't want to be on a deck that is about to fall down. That would not be fun. You've heard about these stories where they have a little party going on.
Yeah, we fixed one earlier this year that was earlier last year, I should say. We're in the new year. Right off the bay, it was not flash right, and between the rain over a period of time, a person walked out because it was around the bay, like a bay, and it rotted so bad and wasn't connected that deck fell about a foot. It was able to hold on against the house, and then we went over there and we tore it all apart. We repaired it all, and then we redecked it new rails, and it looked beautiful when we were done.
That's what you need, is somebody to make sure you get these. You don't want a deck pulling off away and sinking from the house. And sometimes these headers, I saw the headers in a house that they were made out of particle board, and that'll tear apart over time.
Exactly right. That's why flashing is very important. Sealing between the deck and the house is important. Again, all these stuffs that a professional would do, that a non-professional or a beginner would not know the proper process that we've developed over 35 years. Again, it's very important with the experience, making sure the deck is properly fastened and flash, because water does damage like you'd never believe. And we see it quite a bit on decks that were built 20, 25 years ago. No real codes, no real flashing. We tear them off and the whole house is just rotted, and we have to repair the whole band board of the house and then build a new deck.
Do it right, everybody. We talked about the big mistake a lot of people make building a deck, and that is cutting corners, being cheap, chucking a truck. How long is their warranty good?
Yeah, taillight warranty. We talk about in our industry the taillight warranty. That guy's taillights, once it's gone, there goes that warranty. That's why you go with a professional company that's known.
But yeah, among that, what are some of the other mistakes people make? Is it materials? I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, there's like I said, we've shifted over 30-something years from what we used to be wood. Now we hardly build a wood deck, maybe a handful. I might build 90 composite decks and maybe 5 wood decks. Whatever, depends on what our sales are. But doing research, if you're doing it on yourself, obviously you better do the research and the quality of materials, because there is a ton of products out there that's maintenance free, they call it a day. But out of that ton, there's really a handful of quality, and I would say the rest of it is like this. It's not quality at all. It's like
Really?
getting a McDonald's cheeseburger versus going and getting something from Fuddruckers or somebody. You're gonna pay a little more for that burger, but that burger you're getting. You want to go buy McDonald's, get you a quick burger. You take, and no offense to any.
Yeah, well,
McDonald's,
and that's good for.
I'm saying that the quality of what you pay for, you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
And that goes a long ways, not only in food as a gesture, but in something that you're going to be spending the next 25, 30 years on there.
Yeah, and I'll say that's the difference between a burger and a deck. Is a burger goes through your system and that's like a 15-minute experience. But
Exactly.
A deck is something that's more like 30 years.
Right, but a quality versus you got to pay for something more expensive.
I'll eat
but in the long run, you're like, man, I'll remember that how good that was.
Well said. Yeah, that's important, and why you should do so. Do you do commercial and residential, obviously, but mostly residential? Obviously,
Yeah,
but
we're mostly residential. Commercial's a little different vibe. We haven't really gotten a dip in too much in the commercial. Like I said, I built several decks years ago for Riverport Amphitheater. Well, it was Riverport then.
We all call it
Hollywood now, yeah, but first
still
old
call it
stores,
Riverport,
it's all
yeah.
be Riverport to us old guys.
Once it's Riverport, always Riverport.
Yeah, but I built several of their decks out there you could still go out and see today. They're all treated, but we built many of them out there.
Okay.
Contracted in.
But you enjoy the residential a little bit better? Why?
Yeah, I enjoy dealing with people. Some people say like that, but when you build relationships with the clients like I try to do, it becomes personal. I'll see these clients in the grocery store. I'll run into them at Lowe's. I'll run into them at the different lumber yards that we'll be in. They'll be, hey, Alan, how you doing? And it makes you feel good that they remember you and they're still happy with you, that you did their job. So, it's always a blessing to be able to still see people in public. Or, again, I'll get phone calls every week. Hey, you built such and such deck, and they referred you out. That's the biggest part of how our company built was on referrals.
Yeah, well, St. Louis is the biggest small town, they say, in the region. So you will end up with everybody knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody, right? So I said keeping that good name is very important. And to a family company, it can bury us if we had a bad name.
Yeah, and you do not want that because so often.
No. So it makes us have to work harder.
Word of mouth is such a big part of what you do.
It makes us have to work harder to keep that name.
Absolutely. Well, tell me then, what do you like about this St. Louis market? There's a lot that goes into this, but tell me a little bit about how does that affect the style of decks you'll build too with the weather we get here.
Yeah, I mean, we like today we called everybody off. It was just a bit too cold to be out there playing deck builders, so I let everybody off today. The Midwest, we have the hot, we have the cold deal. The market is really good in the Midwest, and in St. Charles County, as you know, if you watched over the 35, 36 years I've been in this county, the growth is just amazing. You watch what's going on in Wentzville and O'Fallon. There's work galore for us, so we enjoy it. Just being out here in St. Charles County alone is enough to have a business.
Yeah, well, there again, back to so much that you can do in a region like this because the weather changes all the time. So you're making decks that are going to that composite stuff. You like that a lot better because it lasts longer, easier to maintain. Obviously,
it's beautiful. I mean, if you see the pictures, you can't stain a deck to look that good. And then you got to keep staining that deck every year, and you got to keep maintaining it. And wood is wood, as I always say. It's unpredictable, is what it is. With this product here, not only is it consistent, but it comes with a warranty that we can't even offer on wood. So it's nice to know that when you're selling a product that has a 25, 30, 50-year warranty on the decking, a lifetime on the railing. We can also offer a lifetime framing warranty with a composite frame, steel or aluminum frame. So we are getting into some of what we think is the future of deck building, and that's going fully maintenance-free from the ground up.
There you go. Now you're talking about something that lasts a long time. And you have a particular, you're certified, we talked about in the first show, but you have a particular vendor you like a lot that you've done most of the work for them in St. Louis.
Yeah, you mean vendor being,
Timber?
Yeah.
Timber?
So TimberTech is the product.
TimberTech, okay.
We're a fourth year in a row in platinum since we started working with them. I was building before, but we were using a different variety of products, and then we really fell in love with TimberTech, and they've been really good to our company as well. And now we're 4 years platinum, and we'll be platinum every year just based on our sales. And that's very important to go with a company that stands by their warranties and I have to say, we've had 0 claims.
Really?
0 claims.
Zero
That
claims.
is so important to a company like mine, because a bunch of claims, selling bad material, like we talked about. Where do people go wrong? It goes wrong by choosing a bad product. There's a lot of bad maintenance-free products out there, composite products that are just low end. You can pick them up at Menards. Some, using names here, but I mean, some of the ones that just don't sell high quality. Just trying to get you in there to like a DIY to go build it. You run to a big box store, they can buy the product there that they offer, put it on, but is it going to last? How's it going to look? TimberTech is nationwide, probably worldwide, well known, and again, the quality is just huge. 0 claims. That's important to us. Know that when we sell a product, it's there to stay. It's there to stay and last.
Right. Your big box stores sell a variety, and there's a different
Yeah,
stuff.
they sell variety. And they can
ultimately,
offer a lot of what we sell at TimberTech as well. But yeah.
yeah, but ultimately, you want to have somebody who knows how to install it correctly, because just because you get good materials doesn't mean you know what to do with it.
I'm
Right?
saying, yeah, you can buy the best product in the line, but again, we talked about earlier, the finish. It's tough to finish. That's why I said, framing carpenters ask me how to finish a deck, because they just don't know all the little ins and outs. And we've obviously this much experience that we have, as well as the crews have been with me for so long with very small turnover, means that we're all training to build exactly stay consistency across the board in our company.
Well, again, back to do things the right way, get the right, and it includes getting the right people to do the installation.
That's
because
tough,
you hire, and probably is a guy named Chuck, and he probably does have a truck.
Right.
So we're not trying to pick on anybody specifically, but
Especially named Chuck.
especially love Chuck. But yeah, make sure you're doing these things the right way, because again, a $25,000 investment. This is not something you want to cut corners on.
Sure.
Have a deck pulling away from your house, or falling down, or tearing out, or
Exactly. And I always tell everybody, when they come get me an estimate, I mean, obviously I hope I get it, because that's my business. But I always encourage, go out and get your other estimates. Go out and talk to these other companies, and then make your own adjustment here. And usually a lot of them come right back to me.
there you go.
Very happy for that.
Word spreads. Tell me a time, though, you've been doing this for so long. Tell me a time when you had to help somebody that was kind of in a tough situation. You could tell somebody left them out to dry, maybe a job that didn't get completed. You had to come step in. Give me an example of a time you helped somebody.
Yeah, so I mean, a couple years ago, I had a lady call me. She had a friend who had a friend that said, "Yeah, we could do this deck," and so I bought the maintenance-free decking, and they bought the railings, and it was an off-brand railing, so it wasn't a high-quality railing that we install. But she called me. She was almost in tears, because she's like, "My deck is destroyed. This guy ran off. I got very little money, but I'll do what I can. What can you do for me, Alan?" And I feel a little charitable here and there, and I feel bad for some people. So, now I'm a owner of the business. I got a heart, and that's crucial. And so we went and we charged her very minimal, labor-wise, and we went and finished that deck for her. And that girl was in tears when we were done, literally crying. And that one made me cry, because I was like, "Holy cow!" You want to make them happy, but when you really brought them out of the depression that she was, because she was like, "I don't know what to do. And we got out there, and it was a mess. And we were able to save it. I put my best guys on it, and when it was all said and done, she couldn't be happier, and she referred me out to a couple people. So in the end, we still won, because we got a referral, which, one referral off every client. That's all I need.
Build a business, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's it. I say it comes back, and before I even got to say that, it did come back, because they referred a few people to you.
Yep.
And helped to you to continue doing what you do. What's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome as a business owner? Every day you wake up, there's something new you got to deal with. But over the years, what made you stronger? You made it through.
Yeah.
Give us a couple lessons learned.
We've been very blessed with our employees, because we put them through a training program.
Okay.
And we kind of use the buddy system. When somebody comes to hire me, I'm like, "Hey, you got a buddy."
Yeah.
You got a buddy. I always think the buddies work together good, within reason. That used to be the challenging, was like, I'm selling a lot of work, but I just cannot throw just anybody onto our crew and send them out there and try to do that kind of quality work that you see with, one of our rails is $280. You miscut that rail, that's a big, you eat. One deck board is like between $65 and $120 a board. So
Wow.
one deck board.
I didn't realize
when you
that.
got 40, 50 on a deck, you mess up 3 or 4 boards, or you mess up 10 boards. I mean, you can cost $1,000 in damages that quick on a deck there. So that's what probably the challenges we have, is making sure that the guys we bring on, we train them properly so they're not making those mistakes in the field, because it gets very expensive out of my pocket because I got to eat it. So.
Measure twice, cut once.
That's what we preach, absolutely.
That's a good way to do it. Well, I appreciate that.
Old thing.
Lots more fun we got out in the community here. My buddy Nino at the Cardinals game. Before the game, we were over at Patios. Check out some of the fun we had here with our buddy Nino. Hey everybody, guess what? We get to have fun all the time at the Cardinal games. Before the game, we get to hang out with fun super fans. Say hello to my buddy Nino over here. Brett, Tanya, and Dixie. That's right. Everybody's in the video here. Family coming out to the game. Nino, what do you love about going to Cardinal games?
You love baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves baseball. Hey, all right. Scoring points with the Cardinal Cowboy.
Yeah, he plays Miracle League baseball.
Do you really?
And he likes to be on the Cardinals team at home.
Yeah.
Wow. Nino, how many times have you been on that team? How many times have you done that?
A lot.
A lot.
That's a good answer. All right. Dad, what's it like coming to the Cardinal games with your son and your wife and all the fun you get to have down here?
Oh, it's the most fun. I mean, we've been coming since Old Bush. You know, now we've got New Bush Stadium. It's the best baseball town, and it's the most fun. You know, it's fun before the game. The games are always great, and we love it.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking time here. We're at Patios, everybody. This is where the most fun is. I get to wear the full outfit here. I got the pants, the socks, the arch, Nino, Brett, Tanya, and Dixie all here, and we're outside Patios having fun. Hey, say hi to Patios. Stop on by here before a Cardinal game, and we'll see you guys soon.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So with that, you can see where media has changed the way the world runs. Pick up this book, Magnetize Media. yours truly will help you understand. This book is a #1 seller on Amazon, and they asked me to write the forward here. The Cardinal Cowboy wrote the intro here. So Cardi essentially wrote the first chapter. But somebody like yourself, Alan, who's seen the technology has changed. You got to have a website. You got to have social media. You need to be sharing beautiful pictures. And I promise those we're going to show them up here in a second. We had kind of a glimpse of some of them. Lots on their website, lots on their social media. But how has the world changed technology-wise that you've had to adapt over the years?
Well, the social media obviously has been massive for like most people nowadays. You can click on, you can just go all over the place. I mean, when websites first started popping up, the .coms, 25 years ago, whatever, it took a lot for you to get a website and somebody had to manage it. So that took a lot because it wasn't just free. Well, Facebook is free. So the ability to use free marketing as much as possible helps a small company like mine because I don't have $10,000 a month to dump into,
right.
Or I'd have to charge 3 times what I do, and I would have half the sales, and we wouldn't have 15 employees, So our idea is that we want to sell the deck. That's our biggest goal. And using the technology of social media to be able, like you said, I used to have to come out with books with all my pictures and put them out here. Now people can get on their computer and they can research me in advance before I even show up. And that makes very important.
Yeah, well, it makes it a lot easier for people to get that information now, and you got to put it out there.
Yeah, we put way more out in a click like that, and so it's made it easier on us. And then people, the reviews is so much easier, to do today. They can go to the product line that we sell, when they can go to their website, and they can do all their own studying. So that way, when I tell them what I'm saying, it validates my words. And they can look on the website with a click and go, okay, yeah, he's correct. They offer this, do that. So,
they can check what you're saying. That's true.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me the process. If somebody wants to hire you, what's the process somebody goes through?
Yeah, so they call me. We set up a general appointment like everybody would do, and I go out and I walk over, and so I take a different approach to sales. So because of what we mentioned about technology, I show up to probably 75% of my clients. They already know what they want. They already know the deck size. They've already went and picked up their samples. They've done their research. But they know they're not going to build it themselves, so they need to hire somebody.
Right.
So when I walk in, they go, okay, Alan, this is the decking we picked out. These are the railings we like. This is the size of the deck we want. Makes my job really, because the buyer today is a lot more informed because of what we talked about, social media, technology.
The interwebs, yeah.
So it makes it easier that I don't have to break out 17 books and try to explain every single thing to them. They've done their research. Now it comes down to they've researched me, and it comes down to price. And price is a big thing for us, is trying to keep our costs down so that we can sell. There's always that fine line between, do you sell a lot of decks for this price, or do you sell this many decks for that price? Right. I've always followed the model of, I'd rather build as many decks as I can at this price, because every deck you build is a possibility of a lead. So 100 decks is a possibility for 100 leads. 20 decks is 20 leads. Well, you tell me where you want to be at. I'd rather stay busy and make people happy.
Yeah, if you're doing a good quality product and you can build by volume, that helps. That's kind of what
we're definitely a volume company. I make it that way. I price it that way because, again, I'd rather stay super busy than to sell a handful and then constantly looking for work.
Yeah, and when you've got the reputation you've got and you've done the work for as many years as you have.
We stay consistent too with our pricing because, because we're referred out so much, people talk. So if I sell a deck to this person for this price and they got an idea, and then she calls her friend Jenny, and Jenny goes, hey, I talked to Lori, and Lori said, you built your deck. Well, I know that Jenny and Lori have already talked. You spent $23,000 on that deck. I can't come into these people and go $43,000 or $33,000.
Right.
So being consistent is what helps me out a lot, is that I don't play any sales games. There's no sales games in our business. It's straight to the point. What you want, this is the price, and let's do business.
Well, let's give a few examples here. We'll show a little bit about what you got going on, but I know we've got the your website's got a lot of great information. If you look here and click on the gallery, you can see here, and you've got some images that you can just let this scroll, and you'll see multiple levels for decks, and they call that a slider, and allows you to just kind of get a glimpse of what it is that you put together. You've got a great looking website that shares that information. But on your social media, you guys have got a lot of your work out there too, and so I love just stuff. But if you will, walk me through a couple of these. We'll start off here at the top. What do we got here on the screen for everybody to look at there?
Yeah, so this is a TimberTech deck done in a two-tone with the Westbury railing with LED lighting that we put on the transformer. We set it automatically, kicks on and off. You can enjoy your lighting at night. Creates quite the ambiance of sitting on your deck, and we run LED, so you're not running a lot of power to light up your deck.
Right.
And I mean, just the beauty of an evening deck, as you can see in the photos, is amazing.
Yeah, good looking stuff. Now, is that the same deck?
That's the same deck,
but
yeah,
during the day?
daytime and nighttime. Yep.
Okay, very cool. And a wide variety. And you see the steps. Wow, that looks
Yeah, you
beautiful.
can see the two-tone
that's a
vibe
big,
on there. Yep.
That's a big deck too. I didn't realize
Yeah.
how large.
16 by 24.
Okay, that's what they say. Like a big deck, and looks great. And that's before and after.
That was the
and
before, yep.
Some awnings.
There's a gazebo that we didn't build a gazebo, but what we did is that we gutted all the rails and the posts that were all rotted out, and we came back and we put in cedar posts. We custom routed them, and then we installed maintenance-free Westbury railing.
Okay, and you do some awnings now too.
Yep, correct. We do retractable awnings. We stayed a little bit out of the roof business. It's a little tricky these days with permitting and roofers and that kind of stuff. So the awnings have worked out. We sold a handful of them, and they're becoming a little popular because they retract out. They got built-in lighting on them. It's all done on a remote control.
Yeah, I wanted to show you that. I was talking about it there. Let me put the awnings up for everybody to see what we were talking about there. So there's your awnings, and those are nice because they are retractable, right?
That's correct. Yep.
And
they have built-in LED lighting in them as well. So again, you can sit out at night, enjoy a little light. When you're done, close her up and go to bed.
Nice. All right, let's take a look here. I'm going to scroll down to the a little bit further down your page here, and tell me a little bit about. Just tell me one to stop on here. Oh, can I pick one for you?
Okay. Okay. There's a nice one. That was a tear down and a rebuild. Went from an older composite to a newer composite, and with updated railings from a vinyl to aluminum. And yeah, very clean, very finished out from the ground up. You can see we use sleeves. So, I mean, you're looking at a fully maintenance-free deck besides the framing.
Yeah,
that was the before. That's what it looked like before. It was all vinyl rails.
Okay.
Yep. You see we tore it down. This was a screened-in room. We did a deck, and this is a screen-in below with a dry space. You can see the gutter up in there, and then, gives you, the concrete was already there. There was an old deck. We tore it down and rebuilt it, and then we added in the screen room, so now they get to enjoy a seasonal. When it rains, you can sit outside and enjoy it.
Well, you've got quite a bit here to show off, and a lot that you've done to prove you're really good at what you do. What gives you the most satisfaction about doing this? We got about 15 seconds left here.
That I built something that my family can continue to run, and we can build a name. Build a name is important.
Quality, integrity, something that can last, and something that'll make the value of your home go up to everybody.
Absolutely.
The Deck Shop. Family owned, let me put that back up there. Family owned and operated, thedeck-shop.com. Get a hold of my buddy Alan here. He'll make sure and get this done right for you. You don't want to cut corners when you're building a deck to go in a house like a beautiful house. Stay tuned, everybody. Giddy up.